The Italians get closer to leave the European Union, and the Scottish Nationalist Party try to cover up their own mess. Well, it's been days and weeks since we've been talking about how the European Union abandoned Italy, and nothing has changed, up to a point where the Italian citizens are now rising up against the EU, and now we have 67% of the Italian population being against the European Union. Now, that's crazy because until a few years ago, they only had about 38-40% being Eurosceptic. Now, almost 70% of the country now wants Italy to leave the EU. So in this video, we're going to talk about that. Also, we are trying to set up our new home studio. So any feedback in the comment section, it would be great. This audio and the sound quality is still a bit poor. I'm just waiting for a new microphone to arrive in the next few days. So hopefully that will be without echo. So let's start the video and talk about Italy. Yeah, whilst the Italian government keep asking the European Union to actually help them properly, the EU have decided to just come up with some rhetoric without actually sending any support, and this has massively backfired. Carlo Calenda, a member of the European Parliament for the pro-Brussels Action Party, has warned of a growing crisis in confidence in the bloc. Having won his seat under the slogan "We are Europeans," he is now receiving doubting messages from supporters. Now, these are the actual pro-European supporters. This is an existential threat, and I'm not sure if we're going to make it, he's told the Financial Times. You have to consider my party is one of the most pro-European parties in Italy, and I now have members writing to me saying, why do we want to stay in the EU? It is useless. Now, Mr. Calenda is a former government minister in Italy, and he's now warning that the tides are turning. He said that a massive shift is happening in Italy. You have thousands of pro-Europeans moving to this position. Now, it's not looking good. And they need to be quite careful, because if you see the former pro-European in Italy, or pro-EU, let's just say, because we like Europe but not the EU. If the pro-EU Italians are even turning against the European bloc, yeah, you have something to worry about. As we said, in a recent survey, 67% of Italians said that they felt that being part of the EU was a disadvantage to their country. The shock figure was up from 47% in November 2018. Mr. Tusk, now chairman of the powerful European People's Party, said that the bloc faces a much bigger blow than the last Eurozone debt crisis. He said that, I hope everything can be fixed. We must save Italy, Spain and the whole of Europe and not be afraid of extraordinary measures. This is a state of emergency. Now, there's no surprise that we've shown clips and pictures in the past from Italy where people are burning the Italian flags. Now we have the Italian mayors and actual elected politicians bringing down the EU flag from their buildings. There are a lot of pictures going around the internet, especially on Twitter, especially a video from one of the Italian mayors. And then we have this. Now, to be fair, it's not necessarily just the recent lack of response from the EU that's causing this problem. Italy has been in disadvantage for a long time when it comes to the support that they should be getting from the EU. The EU's poor initial response has added to Italians' concerns that the bloc is unwilling to help when Italy needs it most. over the past decade, Italy has gone from being one of the most enthusiastic supporters of the greater European integration to one of the most Eurosceptic member states. Many Italians felt that Italy did not receive much European solidarity during the Eurozone crisis and that the Union served as an enforcer of damaging austerity policies. The damage to Italians' view of the EU was then compounded by the bloc's response to the migration crisis. Italy took in 650,000 migrants between 2014 and 18, and efforts to distribute these among other EU countries were largely symbolic, although some other member states, Germany in particular, also took in large numbers of migrants. And now you have the former head of the European Commission, Delors, who helped build the modern European Union, breaking his silence last weekend to warn that the lack of solidarity posed a mortal danger to the European Union. Now it's funny, the guy that helped build this European Union machine is now warning that the whole thing could easily collapse, especially if countries like Italy decide to leave. There's no more solidarity in Europe. The whole unity is gone. Even the former Greek financial minister has said that the European Union is at risk of facing a very deep recession if the right measures are not adopted to help the EU member states. He's also said that this could actually be an even bigger shock than what the continent actually experienced in 2008. So on this channel, we'll obviously keep you guys posted on what's happening in Italy and across Europe, because there are other member states, especially Hungary, who are also kicking off because the European Union is useless. So this could be the beginning of the end for the EU. This crisis might actually result in a complete change and transformation in Europe. So we'll see how that goes. But let's talk about Scotland. The SNP government, who are, very good at doing things, they had their the actual chief medical officer who is in charge of the guidelines and the lockdown and telling people to stay at home. She decided not to follow the rules herself, and then she apologized, and we had a situation where she came on TV at a press conference, I think it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, apologizing and saying that this was a bad idea, and then even Nicola Sturgeon actually supported her, saying that, oh no, it's fine, she's already apologized. And then later that night she had to resign because it got too embarrassing. Now the problem that we're going to talk about in this video is not necessarily what she did, or was it good, was it bad, did she have to resign? The problem here is that the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon used this as an excuse to cover up their own mess. Because at their press conference yesterday, we discovered that so the SNP government had been giving out the wrong figures when it comes to the number of cases and people losing their lives. But also there was a problem at a care home where a big group of people lost their lives. Now, you would imagine that journalists would simply ask and try to scrutinize the Scottish government on this issue. But she used basically shifted the debate to talk about the other scandal, which was her chief medical officer resigning. And so all the other journalists were just asking about that because that's more dramatic and interesting. Now, that's the problem I have with the mainstream media. They didn't ask the right questions. So she managed to cover up her own mess by giving out the wrong figures, and her excuse is that, we failed to calculate the numbers properly. I mean, how hard is it? Seriously. So this is the SNP, and this is why we're mentioning this on this channel, because the mainstream media aren't talking about it. But the biggest thing that the Nicola Sturgeon needs to remember is that she is not the Queen of Scotland. This country only has one queen, and that's this lady. And yesterday, Her Majesty did a rare speech to the nation to bring everyone together. And it was quite interesting because not everybody is a monarchist or pro-monarchy. I even spoke to Julia Hartley-Brewer, who's a Republican, and even she was supportive of the speech, because at this time, when you have the head of state who's not political and actually talking to the nation, it does help.
We should take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. But for now, I send my thanks and warmest good wishes to you all.
Yes, we will meet again. And on this channel, we'll meet every day at 5:45 p.m. and at 7 p.m. we have our daily live streams as usual. And I want to say massive thank you to the supporters of our channel, our members who've joined None of this would be possible without you, especially at this time, because YouTube are withdrawing the support for YouTubers like me. The advertisers are basically going away. So the only thing that we can rely on is the support of you guys. So if you enjoy this channel, if you want us to continue and carry on every day, then feel free to check out the link in the description to our membership club, or you can find the join button next to subscribe, or just go on your browser, type in youtube.com/myitc/join. Just check out the details there. That's the membership club. You could get a lot of benefits and perks in return. 16p a day. You could actually get more access, exclusive access to this channel, and you'll be able to support us to continue our work. So feel free to check it out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.